You know, liberals would have us believe that there is a way to save the world and at the same time help the American people. Anyone with any reasonable amount of intelligence is going to realize that this concept just is not feasible. It's this type of thinking that caused the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was started because the American government had this crazy concept that they could eradicate communism not only in Vietnam but all over the world. How are you going to wage war with every communist country just because you don't like the idea of communism? I just don't think it's a very intelligent approach. The fact of the matter is I used to think that I was a Democrat, but now I realize that maybe I'm closer to being a Republican, and I'll tell you why. Republicans represent a type of conservationist. They represent a type of conservationist idea. That being that they believe in a very small form of government. They believe the government should have the least amount of involvement with the American people's lives and the least amount of involvement economically. That's usually the reason that Republicans are for Americans owning guns. Republicans are for a more type of free enterprise trade. The problem with this is that usually Republicans are people with money. I've always said if you're rich, be a Republican. If you're poor, be a Democrat. So now I consider myself a liberal conservationist. I'm a little bit of both. And why can't we just merge both of these concepts together and have a more realistic ideal system? It seems, sadly, in the American system, in order to help one group of people, you have to fuck over another group. This, unfortunately, has been the approach of the American government to solve our problems for over 200 years. The fact is, I don't see how it's such a unconceivable idea that everybody wins. I mean, think about it. If everyone had a job, if everyone had money, then everyone would be buying more, which in return would create a more successful economic market, which in return would mean that there would be more jobs, more money to be spread around, possibly even a balanced budget for America. And why is it so important to keep certain classes of people poor? Not that this is actually being done. Many groups of people will claim that the government wants certain groups of people to remain poor, but I don't see how this could possibly benefit anybody for anyone to be poor. Maybe if everyone was more determined to try to pull themselves out of the holes that they're in. Of course, now that I've made that comment, I guarantee you that I'm going to get hundreds of comments on this video of people saying, fuck you, you son of a bitch, you don't know what people are going through, you fucking son of a bitch, shut your fucking mouth, blah, blah, blah. That's not why the Vietnam War was fought. A bunch of people that have absolutely no idea of what the facts are would rather run their fucking mouths about a bunch of shit that they don't even know about. And I get so sick and tired of hearing these dumb fucking rednecks yapping on about, if I was in the United States government, I'd solve this problem in 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. No, you wouldn't. Look at Obama. He got into office thinking that he was going to save the world, and look where he's at now. All the while, Americans were bitching and whining about not having decent health care. And look what just happened. They just signed a health care bill that's probably going to eradicate Medicare and ruin medical coverage for millions of elderly individuals, and the only people that are going to be benefited are individuals that are of working age. If you're too young to work or too old to work, your life will become unvaluable, so to say. And, I mean, is this any type of approach to solving our problems with our healthcare system? I don't see how it is.